Greetings, traveler. You've just landed on the M&Me podcast. But fear not, for this is no mistake. No fault in the stars, no glitch in the matrix. No, I'm afraid this has all been planned, predetermined by powers known not to us. So pull up a chair and join us as we find our way together, for you are among friends.
Yes, you are. And you might be among non-human friends.
Oh. Non-human. Oh, speaking of friends, a friend's joining us.
Yes. Hello, Mario.
Hey, guys.
Hey, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, very well.
Wonderful.
How are you?
Good, doing just fine. How are you, Mario?
I'm very good, weekend time.
Wonderful.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for agreeing to speak with us. I'm Matthew, half of the Mikey and Me podcast, and there's my good brother there, Mikey. And it was thank you so much. So I guess we can just kind of get going. I guess to introduce you, Mario Masperi, correct, of the UAP Disclosure Movement.
Yep. So first of all, thanks for having me, guys. So that's nice. And maybe I can start with myself, right? So I'm raised and born in Italy, but I left my country many years back. Now I'm based in Warsaw, and I travel a bit across the Europe mainly side. And my background is mainly I work a lot in my career in technology. Now actually more on big data and AI. Side on blockchain, and more on, let's say, on the management side of the thing and operation, right?
Okay.
So just to give you a bit of understanding there.
Wow.
So why comes this idea? I think you're interested about the project, and I would like to break you down for you.
Okay.
If it's okay by you?
That's
please,
that's
go
perfect.
ahead.
Yeah, and I've just kind of got your site pulled up here, but you can just kind of talk through it from the inception to where we are now, and then
Yeah, I've always been fascinated since I was a child, guys. So I think this is something that comes as a passion. And, for me, there are like two main questions. Are we alone in the universe? And what happens when we die?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if actually these are correlated somehow. Nobody knows, but there are some studies on quantum mechanics and some books that I read about. But and therefore, this has been my passion. I read a lot. I see a lot of, main character in the space, like George Knapp in the US and all these folks. Very interested about what's happening also right now with the US hearing, the second time that happened this year.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. So, and the problem that I was always thinking about, there is a lot of information out there, but it's very fragmented, right?
Right.
And mainly are coming from disclosure, from US Archive or UK, etc. And people that want to post something. But the problem is that there is a lot of stigma still, even though a lot of events happen. But I think the public is still taking, okay, that's, something aside. But I think this is something that require a lot of seriousness. This is a serious topic. And
agree.
and I was wondering, right, there is a way how we can engage better the community and have a space where we try to build transparency, evidence, understanding also. And then talks to some people that are close to me, we come up with this idea, how to use blockchain to create this kind of transparency. Blockchain per se, I'm not talking about crypto, but talking about the technology per se.
Okay.
I think this can help to create this kind of transparency and tracking of evidence, and also because it is immutable. It's an immutable storage. It's an immutable technology.
Yep.
And
just decentralized, just to where there's
exactly.
Yeah, it's I saw your project and I immediately that's a genius application of actually giving a repository for all this stuff and it'd be like you're speaking immutable on the blockchain, accessible and documented, and then verified. I imagine by people in your group, and that'd be kind of a component. I imagine.
Yeah, exactly. Let me break down this. The second aspect was how we can incentivize people and reward them to do so, right? And then we come out on the rewarding system. I can talk a bit about that. But to break down the second topic, in terms of verification, there are different technology as well. Many companies are using AI algorithm and other stuff to, for instance, check if a document can be released at all, if it's a deep fake, etc. But that's why you will need always kind of human check. So I can go deeper in the technical part. It's like intellectual property, but
Yeah.
it's like a multi-level verification.
Okay.
And as well, we want to engage people in the space, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I want to make clear, like, we're not going to break any kind of legislation. We're working with legacy department and to see that everything is fine on country region base, even though it would be a global platform. And on the reward system, we thought, okay, people want to share, but even though want to remain anonymous, and also is where also blockchain help because even though you have a wallet, doesn't tell you your name or surname or whatsoever, right?
All right.
So and you can be incentivized by having a reward in our UAP token, um, as well as kind of democratize also the rewarding because everything is done by the smart contract. Okay, there is no somebody that decide, okay, this person needs 10,000 or the other we give 100,000.
All right.
It's something that will work very transparently and very well. There are other aspects on the rewarding system that we're working on, not only to share evidence, but as well the community if is able to flag something that is fake, even though
Okay.
passing, different verification, and also in a way to engage the community. So we want to have an ecosystem that is really driven by the community. We don't want to put something like it's an organizational aspect and is driven by a company. I think
Yeah.
that's not the purpose at all. I think this is something that we want to contribute as our mission to move forward with transparency and to reach some objective. I mean, I believe that people still, we had some researches also in the academic space. So people that have real academic background, scientists, etc. Only 20% of them, even though they have experience, they are able to share, right?
Hmm.
So this says something, right? There is
Yeah.
a lot of stuff underneath taken by the community or by people that is not real, is not anywhere, right?
All
So
right.
we want to give this possibility.
That's fascinating. No, I mean that's I love the approach that you're taking to it, and like how you were saying about having those different levers of you know, of verification and those and for things like that. I mean, because that's going to be one of the first things that people try and attack or go after is like, oh, well, this is just people in their own echo chamber. Trying anything they see, they're grabbing onto and saying, "Oh, this is real," and just to hear that that's already your approach and where you're starting from Jump Street is it's nice to hear that because, like you said, you're wanting to try and remove the stigma, and you're doing a fantastic job in a way just by how you've approached the whole thing to begin with. Because anybody who has any kind of sense can kind of look at what you're doing and hear what you're saying and be able to understand, okay, this is different, and it's not just like you said, the old kind of stigma around it.
Exactly, exactly. And there is also, a lot of security to be added on top, right? Because, not only security in terms of what you can share,
Hmm.
but
All
also
right.
security in terms of cyber attack and all this kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
Because it still is a sensitive topic, right? It
absolutely.
touches many aspects, and you see in the US on the government side, there are many different voices not going in the same direction. So it's, you know, I don't want. What we want to do is, we don't want to be biased talking about, cover up all this kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? even that they can be or not, but we want just to bring evidence, transparency.
Absolutely. Yeah, we were talking kind of somewhat about that in a sense that, yeah, it could be, like you said, like covert op stuff like that. But I mean, it's just, like you said, bringing about transparency is huge. I had one question, just kind of like, so you said you've been into this since you were very young, and all that. I was just curious, was there anything that you saw when you were young by any chance? Did you have an experience or see anything at a young age that kind of spurred it along, or just the curiosity of it all was enough?
Unfortunately, nothing happened to me directly. Unfortunately or fortunately, depends on
Yeah.
perspective. But there,
It's
there
all
are a lot of
perspective.
cases that, yeah, there are a lot of cases. For instance, if you know if you've seen in Brazil, the people that were hurt
Mm-hmm.
by this thing, right? So,
Yes.
um, so not directly to me. I've been always very much curious, and I always remember was very difficult when I was a kid, even now, to talk to somebody, even
Mm-hmm.
to people that you trust,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they can think you're crazy. Imagine that you want to talk on your colleague or somebody on the job, right? Or
Yeah.
it's no go, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
and I get that because yeah, you even if they, like you said, no go. Even if it's not just that, a lot of times what's upsetting about it is that you're excited about it and then you tell it to somebody and they kind of kill it by just whatever. And
Yeah.
and it it takes a bit of you whenever you're excited and you want to share something and then somebody reacts kind of that way. But
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about this platform, this movement is it's creating that community for people to come and be embraced and share this information and be taken seriously, right? And it's interesting because I'm like you, Mario. I haven't seen anything in the sky, and I look I like looking because I want to and I believe in it. And but my good buddy Mikey here, he's got a number of
yeah.
individual experiences he's had seeing things throughout like numerous times. And I can, he's my brother. Of course he's telling the truth and I believe him. And it's interesting because it's like I want to see it, but it's like it's fascinating because I
Yeah.
completely believe in it. And so it's nice because he gets to share his experiences with me, and then everything going on in the world, it is fascinating. I do wonder. So, does your group consider? I guess how do y'all take into account or consider? I guess any potential psychological or like social, societal implications. So, and I guess that's just kind of comes along with the territory. So if you're growing and expanding and you're actually becoming a trusted repository for all this information, is there a way in which it's kind of, I guess, announced or just to the public or aware, or you just kind of you want the information to be there and however society handles it is how they handle it? Or is there any kind of like, okay, nurturing of the information? It's like, okay, if we just get some crazy kind of video or something that's it's just like, okay, could the world handle this, type thing? Or is it just kind of if it's real and you prove it, then it just needs to be out there right away?
I think, yeah, thanks for the question. It's a very good question. And I think there are two implications there. Security matter. Okay, if it's something that break any kind of security, we have a legal department. We all go to authority first if we can put it on the platform or not, right? Because we need to be sure that we don't put something that break any kind of security, also military security or anything like that. And about something that is fake, I think I mentioned before, this can be exploited, let me say, in an easy way with technology. But there are some content maybe that can be kind of disturbing for other nature of things. I
Yeah.
think that the community that is there and people that would be entitled to review the things, that we make a judge on that. But we want to involve uh, as well, expert in the field,
Mm-hmm.
right? That can help us with that. So there will
Absolutely.
be of course, regulation and policy over there, right? We don't put, everything and everything. So it should be controlled somehow, right?
Yeah.
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 Do y'all have any like experts in mind, perhaps, or people y'all have thought about, maybe you've wanted to reach out to, or that y'all have reached out to? Perhaps any notable people that Anything?
Yeah, we are working on that. I can't say name right now,
Cool.
but we want to engage it very much ASAP.
Nice.
We are a
Georgia.
startup.
Very cool.
We're a startup, but we are a startup, right?
Yeah.
So is and the problem is that there is another stigma, the crypto and blockchain
Oh,
stigma, right?
Yeah, hey,
Because
we're both on the same journey to destigmatize it, which which is I love when I stumbled across your project because we started this podcast a while ago, and I've really been in the world of crypto for a while, and just kind of naturally kind of led to okay, embracing the world of crypto and the communities it can build and foster, and I just kind of naturally in the whole process of that, the whole promotion side and influencers came across your project that was had a promotion not long ago, and I'm like, this is right up my alley. Like we're so fascinated in all things UAP and unknown and just that whole realm of things, and so yeah, so I saw you guys. I'm like, okay, they're doing something really unique and amazing, I believe, with the technology just showing. Okay, people think of all the meme coins, they think of all the scams, all these ugly side, and don't see value. But it's like here,
there's
we're,
something behind this. There's sustenance. There's actually
yeah,
foundation.
and we're both on that like a journey to show the value of the community engagement that these things can build. And yeah, I saw the UAP project movement, and I told Mikey, I'm like, dude, this is this is like such a beautiful thing, and like a use of blockchain and cryptocurrency and getting rid of the stigma, and so yeah, I thank you for that I found you guys, and that we kind of on this unique same journey at the same time.
thank you for that. And yeah, I can't agree more. I mean, the problem of one of the challenge of the crypto space, not talking about the technology. I think the technology is very valuable, but the crypto space is that there have been a lot of Ponzi scheme,
Yeah,
scam, rug pull, whatever you can name it, and that's I think put a bit on the public on the eye that it's okay. This is just sell something and get some money and that's it, right? But there is
yeah,
utility. There are projects, the real project with utility, not only our, but there are many, many, many of them. Um, and another aspect of that part of the pounds, if you see our tokenomics, but also the transaction fee, will be dedicated to funding non-profit journalists and researcher in the space. There are many non-profit organizations around the UAP that I can and project that I believe we could collaborate in a meaningful way.
yeah,
Yeah. So could you? I'm kind of lost just there in that in some of this.
yeah. I guess I can be up. So I'm definitely the half that's more understanding of this blockchain technology and whatnot. So I guess to kind of just help educate some people in that realm. I know. So you're utilizing the Ethereum blockchain, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
No, okay, and I'm just because I've over time, gone from theory, all of them have values that, and they're just like, it's the beauty of them. I think ours is on the Solana blockchain. So I'm just curious, how did you pick the blockchain that y'all decided to use?
I mean, Ethereum is for developing. I mean, talking to our developers. I mean, it make it more, let's say, easy and standard. There are
Yeah.
many libraries that can be used and also kind of open source.
Okay.
So it's more like uh, able to scale.
Okay.
There are, of course, downside in each of the chain. Ethereum is much more stable compared to Solana,
It's very true.
even though Solana have less gas fee and all this kind of
Yeah, I
thing,
guess
right?
that's the trade-off, right?
Trade-off,
Yeah.
right? But it's more for us. It's important to have the security aspect and the scalability. It's very important to us.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, and yeah. So, and before I get there, I want to ask. I do know because I think y'all get to utilize the NFTs in a unique way, if that's correct. At least I think I saw something on your site about how you plan to actually utilize NFTs in a meaningful way to kind of, go along with your mission.
Yeah, yeah. NFT is one of the offering that we want to give to the community. Um, it's kind of me passing away. We come in a second stage. also in the roadmap you see there. Okay. So we're not really in the final design stage, but what I can say there will be in form of reward as well for some specific, leader in the community, and are in two kind of form. One is artistic NFT, but the other is specific evidence in a form NFT that would be unique, right? Okay. I can tell you more because we're not really in the final form. There are a lot of ideas going back and forth.
Yeah, but I can I can envision exactly, like the general idea of what it can do, and just the way it can actually create a digital asset that's either further, it'll be the substantiation of what's been taken in, and it'll be. I'm excited about that. I hope to be. I'm gonna try and be one of the first people to somehow be a part of getting that game.
Yeah. No, and I wanted to say, like, back whenever you were saying that about the stigma, it kind of was. It made me realize too that with, like you said, you're in this. Both of the things that you're involved with do have this, this, like you said, in the community with the crypto and the blockchain, like you were saying, how they do the rug pulls and stuff. And there's a lot of people out there almost like creating cryptocurrencies just to kind of get that short term, take advantage of the buyers or something like that.
Fun.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so they're, and then also with the UAV and UFO stuff and all that, or UAP, sorry. With that realm of things, even with that, for years you've seen people that were just telling fake stories to try and get publicity or to profit off of it. And so, I mean, just wanted to comment on the fact that I really, to help people understand really how important what it is that you're doing, because in addressing that happens in both of those realms, and that's really what, both of them have had that kind of characteristic for so long. And the fact that you're, being as serious and well thought out about everything you're doing is really, I find it, super fascinating.
Yeah, no, it's seeing technology used in, it's beautiful seeing the use case for blockchain technology like this. This is like, and it's interesting how blockchain and things come out so long, and then it's kind of like it's like the internet, or AI even. It's kind of like there's this huge, like when the ICOs came out, or like in 2017, 18, then the NFT boom, and then it's like, okay, then all this garbage stuff, and then the quality projects kind of start to manifest to be like, okay, here's like, just like the good websites that have persisted in the, or through the birth of the internet. So it's, I think it's quite fascinating. Yeah. And I was just kind of curious, getting back to kind of some of the coordinating efforts you guys do. So I know it's to be working out, I guess, with governments as much as you can, right? But you said you're based in which part of the world, which country?
So we have the main, let's say, headquarters, if we can call it that, because we're just, a startup,
right,
here in Warsaw. But
okay.
we have with people in the UK and the Europe base, let's say, in different locations.
Okay.
Smart working at this stage work. At the moment that hopefully we're gonna scale, then we need to find a more reasonable way. But for now, it's work.
Okay.
And you said, I had a question. You said you work in AI or work with AI?
Yeah, I work with big data, and that's an AI, mainly on the life science space.
Okay.
I've been always working with data, and one of the things that I can say right now that we want to put it, I can say more technically, but I think how can help there is to find pattern in the evidence, right?
Okay.
And derive some sort of conclusion to where to go, or ask the community what we think we should explore more, right?
Okay.
And involve them, right? So I think that's probably something that is missing today.
Yeah. Well, that kind of comes back to kind of what we're aiming to do at the same time. Just like the ability to have community involvement and actually engage with the ecosystem, to where it's not an organization, it's a decentralized, like autonomous structure that's set up that it takes passionate, smart people to kind of set the framework up, but then it's kind of self-sustaining, just based on the community. And so that's
So what would if you do you have any in your if everything goes the way you would want it to go, do you have say 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years down the road, what do you have in mind for you know the big picture of what you're doing here? Do you have anything in mind like that?
I think the first thing that we would like to, the big achievement for us is to contribute as a major player to find the truth, to find the unknown, really, to be at forefront. And, it's kind of a nice story to say that a community that have been always on the side, like blockchain, etc., contribute in another community that is always on the sideway, right? So that would be a nice story to say, also to my daughter. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that would be nice. I mean, we want to find something that can help really on global side to find some answer, right? I don't know if it will pass with my time, but to at least contribute on that,
Yeah, to pass
right?
to be a part of it and pass that baton, and I love that mission that you have in mind. Is that you're like, I want to help contribute to finding out the truth, and I mean that's beautiful to me. Because other people might be like just want just the success of it or something like that, but it's one of the things that I can tell that's driving you is just the mystery and the curiosity of it all. It's like, and I feel like if that's what's driving you, it's the sky's the limit. I feel like
Yeah, no, it's genuine. It's virtuous, endeavor. It's and just kind of like our fascination with all things UAP, and then yeah, it's really interesting the timing of all this stuff going
Yeah.
on currently.
Yep.
I was talking to my buddy, I'm like, dude, I'm
Golly.
like, I reached out to these people, and I don't. It's almost like, did this start happening? Did we manifest this? I'm like,
Listen, I was thinking the same. All these also drones, UAP,
Yeah.
yeah,
or I don't know what was that, and all the orbs and the stuff. And then we launched officially, even though we were working months ago, and we spent some time to find the real concept. But when we launched, then all these events happened. And then we're
yeah,
thinking, oh, this closure coming
yeah.
right now, right?
That's what we were just kind of fascinated about is that we've kind of over the past year been looking for it's like we've kind of naturally found our groove, which is getting into the UAP and the unexplained and things like that, and then he finds you, and then this stuff starts happening, and it's like, man, this is just like beautiful the way everything is happens to be, call it synchronicity,
Yeah.
whatever you like, but yeah, like have you been paying attention to much of the stuff going on here in the States?
Obviously, obviously.
Right? Yeah, yeah. We have to
That-
ask, but I know we can't stop the research. I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, and whether it's obviously it's and the kind of what we like to get back to is this talk. Like saying we definitely don't have the answers, and just
No.
literally just being open minded to every possibility, and just because it seems like it's so easy to see social media, people automatically decide it's one thing or not, and it's almost like, oh, they're not anything, or it's the government doing this or that. It's like, and they just kind of don't leave room for any other possibilities, where we're kind of like, it could be everything, all of the above. It could be one thing,
Yeah.
it could be none of these things.
Yeah.
But we don't we don't know, and it's so we just like to kind of come up with as many theories just to at least think, okay, what a million possible things could it be, just so whenever, if we even ever do find out, it's like, okay, we kind of thought about that. It's kind of like trying to guess a movie's plot or something, how's it going to end?
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of this and
It
kind
is
of that.
kind of surreal to compare what's happening to a movie.
Exactly. And for me, it's looking at, all the news about that, and some of the footage looks like really, some of them a drone or something close to a small airplane. Some other like orbs with some energy, so that looks completely unnatural, or can be
Yeah.
also even something I don't know. But then you ask, I see also some interview coming from people from the government, from the U.S. government, that were passing for, and the question is, okay, what is the real answer? Seeing some comment like is a mothership sending from
Iran or something. Which I
Iran,
don't.
yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Or is the Chinese that are 10 years ahead of the US, or is it something more? There are a lot of things, but also this bring me even closer then to what we are doing and make a lot of sense,
Yeah.
right? Because
yeah,
even in this very moment, that there is a lot of people talking and putting a lot of content, it's difficult to understand what is actually real, what is fake, completely fake. I saw some video that were naturally fake, and also they were then published as fake afterwards, after some review. But then they had a lot of, reposts or republish, and people see this thing, right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, difficult to say what's going on over there.
Yeah, it's really difficult to say, but like as you said, and that's why again I wanted to kind of go back to tie into what you're doing and why it's so important with the verification stuff is because right now, with all of this going on, this is almost like there's these intersections where it's like a Venn diagram where you have people that love UFOs or UAPs and they're fascinated with it and they've seen stuff before and now they're seeing this and it's just confirming what they kind of already knew. You have people that are being, totally exposed to it out of nowhere, where it's just like, trial by fire almost. They're learning on the fly, like, okay, what's going on? And then they go pull up their phone and they see on social media, they see all these videos. And like you were saying about how it's like reposted and stuff. And right now there's also this whole community of influencers or just content creators where all they're doing is just now they're just going to create some sensationalized AI video to try and get clicks and get people to share it because they're just trying to game a system. And so that's why like what you're doing and what like is so important and valuable is because, it could just be another way of helping confirm these.
Yeah, a trusted go-to.
Yeah.
Source for, and that really, again, the timing, it's like, it really is so perfect. Like what you're doing is really, it's like, I'm so excited for the future just because, I know we're gonna be talking about it. I mean, I want to be a part of it from here on,
Yeah,
and just
absolutely try and spread the good word and tell everybody we know.
Because all those people that really just do want to at least go to somewhere and it be the least, at the end of the day, humans are always find a way to kind of lie, be imperfect, but to have a group that's being as virtuous as they can with collecting and sharing information and it having, this system that's, autonomous, democratized. It's, and so I can just see the future over time, it just kind of builds like, okay, this, we don't want to actually see stuff and not have to think, is it fake or real? To be like this, be the trusted source for this stuff. That's exactly what I envision because, again, it's the autonomous nature. It's not that and the nature of the blockchain and the token distribution is, it's not like, there's people that, everyone will benefit from the ecosystem of the coin and the way it'll grow and create the value that's substantiating what this even is. And it's the value of the truth. It's really just the value of the truth in my mind. And just that's why I'm really, really excited for it.
Yeah.
But so it's kind of going. Keep going.
No, please. Okay. No, just to back up what you're saying. I mean, I think as well connected to blockchain and crypto as well. I mean, crypto as well is really democratizing, financial and exchange, right? And I think that goes hand in hand because then we're doing exactly the same, and we give the possibility to people to get an ecosystem that is sustained by himself and also to get advantage for that. They can, receive token and they can exchange, they can trade, they can stake, they can do whatever they want, right? But at the end of the day, they will be rewarded for that. So, and they will push things forward. But as you mentioned before, it's important that we maintain the credibility, right? It's not just about to get reward,
Yes.
but what you put as an evidence needs to be consistent, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because I mean that's the whole foundation of what you're doing, and so it's like it has to be kind of across the board in that way.
Yeah. So just kind of going down your side here. So I think if you want to just kind of we talked about the general outline of it, and then your current roadmap, just to kind of, for potential people curious what's going on. So I know you got your tokenomics kind of set up here, which is pretty clear cut as far as the breakdown of all the tokens that are going to be created, and the total supply is fixed, correct?
Yes, it's fixed. It's fixed.
Okay.
Will not be mint anything more.
Okay. And then so you have the pre-sale. Is that, do you know when that's going to be coming?
So the pre-sale we start exactly before Christmas, probably the day before.
Perfect
Christmas.
Gift. Perfect Christmas gift. I already, that's.
Yeah, we are making sure that we're finalizing all the security and the decentralized application to do that with our developers.
Okay.
And also we are enforcing the smart contract. That's why there will be a new smart contract before launching the pre-sale. As well, we're working on KYC, so to be sure that people are sure that there are people behind this project.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
As well, we're gonna then during the pre-sale audit the smart contract, right?
Okay. Oh, very cool. Yeah. So did you?
Yeah, I was gonna say. So you again, I've kind of got it in my head, and I can't get it out. You mentioning that you work along. Him and I have had plenty of talks on AI. And I've been just within the past 6 months or so, really coming around and understanding more things about it. I'm curious, what do you see? Maybe how fast do you see AI like either becoming a part, like an undeniable part of people's lives? Do you have any kind of speculation on that or anything? Like to where it's, the integration of it in human life and things like that?
Yeah, I think it depends very on what is our expectation, right? Because if the expectation is to have kind of super intelligence that is able really to think like a human and also to provide some critical decision making, I think we're a bit far away. It take probably maybe more, about 5 to 10 years, or probably more. For now, I think what we can do is pretty much amazing if you think like even 5 years ago, right? Even though, summarize text, understanding fake or plagiarism, create picture, video, whatsoever, just from a text or an audio or other thing is pretty much amazing, right?
Yeah.
But to have something that really is able to make a decision, I think what is building Tesla for me is fascinating with this, what is the name, the robot, Optimus.
Oh yeah, Optimus,
right?
the Tesla bot, yeah.
Yeah, because I believe the AI needs to have kind of physical aspect.
Yes.
See the world. I don't remember exactly the researcher, but I probably will say, but a 3-4 years old kid by all the information that is taken visually from the visual cortex is like 3-4 times more than the most developed OpenAI GPT 4.0
Yeah,
that
it's
exists
the
today,
spatial
right?
awareness is the current limitation, right?
So I think in that terms, I think we are a bit far away. But if you see, the technology how evolving in a span of 5 years is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's why I was curious to see what your perspective was, because, if you're working in these things, then, you could provide me that understanding that, okay, well, if you look at where we are, because I wasn't paying attention to 5 years ago. This wasn't even on my radar. Just so you know, I cut grass for a living. I own a lawn care company.
How quickly it's grown, so because 5 years ago, it wasn't on really hardly anyone's radar, except for the small group of scientists, computer software engineers that were been working on it.
That realize the capability and possibility.
Well, yeah, from GPT 2 to 4 is like the jump from like a kindergartner to a high school graduate. And now it's 4.0 and 0.1 reasoning, 0.1 Pro. It's from my whatever my perspective is, we're at AGI, and from my take on it, as far as what it's capable of. I mean, tasking with agents and actually assigning them work, like the remote worker is easily the first replaceable, just like anyone that didn't have to go into a job. It's like there's literally software and agents that can do an analysis on something. It can spit out a report. It can do all these things. And then research level studies.
Yeah.
It can literally perform and pass all these, different metrics and rating systems and rankings for what they can do. Like the current generation frontier models can operate at the highest level of probably most humans. Still the smartest humans that would still, perform. But even then, they get more humans do things over and over, and then they get it right. It's like, I think we have this standard for AI that it has to get it right on 0 shots, right? Or get it right on the first try, which it's like, that's perfect. But it's like, man, that's actually better than humans, right? Like the general human, it's fascinating to me. It's just kind of watching how quickly it's happening. It's like, just sit back and just kind of try and observe, and utilize it in as smart way as I can, right? It's kind of seeing the tool, like it's like an actual tool that's, Sorry, I can keep rambling about it.
No, but you are absolutely right. I mean, before was more in the hands of machine learning engineer, right, to develop prediction model and all this kind of fancy thing. Now with, if you use OpenAI API and this stuff, you need to do more kind of prompt engineering, to let them understand how the data looks like and what is the reference, right? But at the end of the day, it's the model that is doing the work, right? Mm-hmm. It's not anymore the engineer per se that does that.
Yeah, it's learning how to talk to the model. It's how to get the most out of it, to how to work with it, right? And it makes me think, with the whole spatial awareness aspect, it's just like a child, except it's going to learn a lot quicker. Like, I feel like as far as, how well it's implemented and just kind of seen in the physical realm in society. But
so you were saying you feel like that, correct me if I'm wrong, that you feel like for its advancement or something to get better that it needs some type of physical aspect, is what you were saying?
Like, if you think about like general intelligence or super intelligence, I think this would be needed, in my opinion.
Okay. Kind of Jeffrey Hinton, I know he won the Nobel Prize and is kind of like a godfather on large language models. I know that's a question that's often asked, is if people think superintelligence needs a physical form to be considered superintelligence. It's a kind of interesting philosophical question, which you can make sense. For it to be superintelligent, it should be able to operate and function at the highest levels in the physical realm and in the intellectual and data realm, right? And so if it's limited, if it can design something perfectly, but it's not able to navigate in the world we live in, I agree with you. That's kind of, it could be smarter in a computer than everyone else, but for it to, that next level of being able to interact and move and engage in the physical environment, I think is actually, for me, that's a key feature that I agree with on that. It's pretty interesting, though.
It's fascinating.
It is. And I think it's important as well to one level, because more this model become more superior, etc. Ethic, it is very important, because we need to always remember that this artificial intelligence model or super intelligence are there to support human.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Not the opposite, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Right. So, well, and that always brings up the interesting point where people talk about the black box nature of it, and that in just observing in nature that anytime there's a more intelligent species, it ends up dominating any lesser intelligent species. And so just if you think in this thing, and that's just a philosophical point. I'm not saying that would happen, but it's just, it is an interesting thing to bring, and that's kind of, and they talk about the scheming they can do. It's just interesting, it's an exciting new world. But it kind of made me want to bring up, do you think there might be a correlation between any of the UAP stuff increasing, if it is in fact increasing, or if it's people have been more aware and it's increased? It could be any mixture of these things, and then where we are in the realm of technology and AI advancement, because I just look for correlations and things occurring in the world, and whether it's just a correlation that exists and they're not actually affecting each other. But, observe the rate of AI advancing and where it's at, and especially with AI and then the quantum computing news, Willow chip that came out. I know they're separate, but just the implications for whenever that is actually in a real world application that can be used. We're on the forefront of things getting even capabilities and breakthroughs in scientific, discoveries iterate. Like I believe that, it's never even been closely dreamed of, to where if there's, I could see there being a correlation between whatever's going on and where we're at technologically, and if maybe that's some point where it's us getting to a certain point of advancement in society, that who knows? I don't know. I don't know if you had
so your
thought
question,
about that.
so your question for him is, do you wonder if is there any correlation
do you
with
think
where
there
we're
might
at
be
in
a
AI
correlation?
and UAP sightings?
Yeah.
Difficult to say.
Yeah.
Some of the materials show incredible capability and a sort of intelligence, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just simple drones.
Mm-hmm.
This shows sort of also, um, intelligence. And what we see right now, what our eyes can see is that we don't have this kind of capabilities,
Mm-hmm.
right? Today.
Yeah.
Maybe there are like some secret project or something that people doesn't have the need to know.
Mm-hmm.
But looks to me very weird that this thing are tested on the public,
Yeah.
right? Normally, if this thing would be tested in a specific region, a specific area,
Yeah, like a war zone or
not
something.
not in New York City
No.
Right.
or
Yeah.
like that, right?
Yeah, and like you said too, I mean, there's a lot of the different videos in there, and there's the ones where they say the drones, which look more like, familiar objects that people can kind of put a finger on. Again, they said that some of them are the size of a sedan or an SUV, and there is military drones that they have that are, or drones that have been tried to have been marketed to the military that are kind of that shape and size. But like you said, there's also these orbs that people have been observing. And the orbs are what's interesting, because those ones, some of them I've seen on one video, they kind of were zoomed in on it, and this thing was almost like morphing. It was like a view from a plane, like
Yeah.
somebody on a plane was recording it, and this thing was like changing, shape and structure, which kind of opened up a whole new world for me in a sense that, okay, well, maybe whatever this is could be imitating other shapes, or, which to me would be, I don't even know what you would call it at that point. If you
Yeah.
could call it a UFO, or aliens at that, I don't know.
I think now I believe the debate is not anymore if the phenomenon is real.
Mm-hmm.
That the
Right.
phenomenon is real.
Yes.
I mean, I, there's of course believe people that are still in disbelief
Mm-hmm.
on that.
Yeah.
But the phenomenon is real. There is no doubt to me about that. Is it natural for some version of this, or some cases that happen is a natural that we don't know is a natural phenomenon? We can't answer. On that, that's what we're working on, a specific evidence to find the clue. But there are other stuff or other ideas, interdimensional space
Mm-hmm.
or
Yes.
other things that are, some of them are claimed by also, without saying the name, of academic people that are very well known.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't think people get crazy suddenly. I think people that study these and they have the theory. Maybe one theory doesn't fit at all of the cases. Some of them maybe are natural phenomena we don't know.
Yeah.
Other are more, let's say, let me post extraterrestrial, or something that is not coming from here.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's like you said, it's like I'm not even questioning, in the sense of, like you said, is this phenomena real? It's like, to me, it's, as you said, it's undeniable that it's real. For like he had said, he hasn't seen anything in the sky that's odd, but probably about 10 years ago was when the first time I ever saw something, and I was standing out in front of my friend's house here in Texas. And I was just standing in his driveway late at night, and I'm looking up at the sky, and I saw what I thought was a shooting star, and it was going from north to south in the sky, and I'm just watching it, and right about when I thought it should have burned out and just disappeared, it just stopped. And it sat there for about 3 or 4 seconds, and I kind of like leaned forward because I couldn't believe it. I was just like sitting here with my head back, and I see this shooting star, and it just stops. And I kind of lean forward, and my buddy looks at me like, "Are you okay?" And then as soon as I'm like about to point at it, this thing just shoots off, and in the blink of an eye was gone. And that was 10 years ago. And that was the first time I had ever seen anything. And I did have an opportunity to talk to, at the time I was dating a girl, and her family member worked for Raytheon. And he was a former employee of them, and I was able to kind of talk to him and ask him, like, what do you know of anything like this? And he was saying that no. And one thing the reason I was sharing this I thought was interesting is that he was saying that, because I was asking, do you know of any technology like that exists or whatnot? And he was saying no. He's like, I don't know of anything that could, if you said it was moving like a shooting star and as high as a star and fast as one, he's like, there's nothing I know of that could stop its own momentum going that fast and then just shoot off again. And he said more than likely what happened is it was moving north to south, and then instead of stopping, it started to move towards you, and then it darted away. Okay. And so it changed direction, or vectors of direction is kind of what he was saying. And so, so I'm just all that to say that it's like I've been, I've believed that there's definitely something unexplainable going on.
Yeah.
And kind of like I think you had mentioned before, while it might be a possibility that there's all these, that government may have technology and capabilities to do these things, that it came from somewhere, and there's something that, whether they found it or they're copying it or something, there's something there that's still unexplained that we don't, not all of it, that what people are observing is just an explainable military or government phenomena, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then
that's fascinating.
Yeah, it's like I think it could be some mixture of all these things, It's and the one thing I was thinking about last night, and it was interesting, I was just sharing with him, is the more I'm looking at a bunch of these videos that are showing up, it's the variety of them is the really fascinating thing. It's not like there's just one consistent type shape. It's like it's a bunch of random animals. Like I watch them, and then I'm just saying, they come across like whatever they are, the way that they're moving around, the randomness of them. It's almost like a zoo of some creatures got out or something happened, and at least like that's what it almost looks like to me, to where whatever it could be, whether it's alien technology or alien creature, or they're doing something, like you said, there's an experiment and something got out and it somehow replicates and mimics. I know I look at all these things. Who knows? It could be anything. But at this point, that's like
it'd be some really intelligent animals if that's what it was, though.
No, it'd be like intelligent in the same way that we have chameleons that automatically camouflaged. Sure. Think about, and other people automatically think aliens. A lot of times they think intellectual, mental capacity in the same way we do, but they could be highly intelligent and just be reactive, adaptive to their environment, and where there's something crashed down and we have, it was down in the ocean, maybe they've been able to go in and out of the ocean because they can be in a plane of what, who knows. Yep. It's just the variety of them is kind of where I'm like, okay, this is, so they literally seems like they're shapeshift in some cases, and they just kind of moving around like, almost like they're just kind of like a bunch of animals wandering or moving in flocks.
Yeah, it's
interesting.
Yeah.
And also, seeing also on the data point, this phenomenon is with us since centuries.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
to say the least.
Thank you for saying that.
So it looks like it taking a forms depend of the advance of our civilization, right? So it's just very speculative what I'm saying, okay?
Yes.
But that's one of the theory that I see, that, and also some artifacts that have been created by our ancient people that they show that, right? So if are with us with such a long time, then can be anything. Can be just energy or something different, or that replicate themselves in different forms, depend of the stage of civilization.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I totally agree.
That's connecting. That's interesting. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, because then, like, it kind of almost how it can be a combination of almost all these different theories, and some of these other phenomena could be explained in a sense by, like, for instance, have you heard of Skinwalker Ranch here in the United States? So that, they've had the whole phenomena, and people believe about skinwalkers, and that's been something which is a shapeshifter, which has been talked about in Native American culture, because like you said, there's been plenty of things that are centuries old that have been talked about. And so maybe it could explain some of this, where we look at it like a human being that can change shapes and whatnot, but rather than almost like what you're saying, it could be some type of, like you said, some other type of energy that can take another shape, or,
Yeah.
Yeah, and looking at all the paper of the that was released about the Immaculate Constellation,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. The
That
hearing. Yeah.
was defining, right, the type of this UAP, right? And it was like the sphere, a boomerang, typical fly saucer, jellyfish, and all this kind of thing, right? So they're kind of typical, like 4 or 5, at least in this document, 4, 5, or 6 type of this UAP, and the reason is why. There is a specific reason why they have different types or specification or design, or there is just another type of clue that is maybe coming from different parts of wherever they come, dimension or whatever, right? It's a very difficult to answer, but on that, I mean, there are videos, right?
Yeah.
Also from army or military guy that are very specific and being released. So very interesting. But even there are a lot of speculation and difficult to answer. Actually, everybody has a different theories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ocean of theories, really, and there you could. It's like almost the more you look into each one, the further the rabbit hole gets, and you see that. I think the more I've kind of been aware of it and researched into the UFO and all the phenomena, is that I realize that it could just be all of them are somewhat kind of connected in some little way. I feel like there's some kind of commonality or something.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like the more you can kind of put these pieces together and step back, it's like when you're zoomed in, it's really hard to see it. But the more you kind of look at it, you realize, oh, okay, all of these little things are somehow connected. And these little phenomena could somehow, and that would, it would make things a lot more,
It's
a
like
lot
the
of the mysteries of the
randomness is
universe.
the similarity.
Yeah, it's
You
sort
know?
of, yeah.
Like that, the common denominator is the fact that they're so random, but they're still similar enough, right? So it's so
that's what we would like to look at, that if they're really
that footage
random,
that they have, right? Like
Hang on.
yeah.
because some of the type of crafts are coming in some specific region. Why is that? And is the civilization that lives there? Is there specific some historical monuments or anything like that, or something different? Maybe there are patterns that are not still, studied or verified with the help of technology. Would be interesting to look into that.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things I thought that was interesting that kind of happened that I feel like a lot of us, like it kind of went past some people's, purview, whatever, were out of their purview, was in that document that was released, I believe you said the Immaculate
Constellation.
Yeah,
the
in
secret
that,
program.
that they said in that they recovered biologics from one of the
like non-terrestrial biologics, or at least there's reference to that.
So that, because they said, did you find in any of these crashes, did you find any remains? And they said, I believe that yes, we did find biologics.
Yeah, like Luis Elizondo is like a big part of that thing. But yeah, no.
I mean, which is kind of fascinating. It almost puts it in another.
Yeah,
it just makes it even more real that it's like, wait a minute, like, okay, well, we know that they say government has technology because, again, people say, oh, well, it's just government flying stuff, but like they're saying they found biologics in one of these things.
Yeah, indeed. I read the book, by the way, of Lizondo, Imminent. Very, very interesting. And yeah, I mean, people like him are a very credible source, right?
Yeah.
And I think not him, but also people coming before him, like David Grush, and all these kind of people, right? I think are kind of credible. And people that say in this statement, make me really goosebump, right?
Yeah.
At the moment that I heard the first time during the UAP hearing, the first one.
Last year, I believe.
Yeah. That was crazy.
That was a huge moment. I feel like, that first hearing of the year ago, as far as just getting rid of some of the stigma. And now this more recent one with the Immaculate Constellation, with everything going on, I guess like a lot of us would hope that the government will at least disclose some of this footage, because they talk about all this high definition footage. So it's like
They
what's
have
cool
it.
about the UAP movement is hopefully this is going to become a source where people would feel safe to I'm not gonna say leak, but however it is, submit stuff to a place where they don't have to worry about, whistleblowing or anything, and just like it's getting it to a trusted source. Because now it's like if somebody actually has something amazing, do they go to TMZ? Do they just post it? If it's
Yeah.
something really real and they don't even know, like it could be like they don't know what to do with it. But it's like this UAP movement. I think it creates the answer to that safe place for information to hopefully be gathered and feel like submitted to. I would that's kind of what I see. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. Well, it's I know we're coming up right on an hour, so if there's anything else that you wanted to share about your project or any questions you had for us, man, we love talking to you.
Yeah.
We could talk this stuff all
yeah.
day. It's
I have still like 15 minutes before some family matters, so
Okay.
we can keep going
Yeah.
if you would
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine with me.
Yeah, I know there's some. I mean, did you have any additional questions for us? I know that if not, Mikey was bringing up some stuff earlier that I don't know if we already covered it, but yeah.
Yeah. No, coming back to the project, I think
Yeah.
is an opportunity to have people to submit evidence and to be rewarded about that, and to have a space that also that can be educated for people that are not still in the, let's say, in the truth seeking in this kind of environment.
Yeah, true.
As well, for me, it's important that with blockchain, we create an immutable source of truth, right? That will stay forever, right? And that's very important. The second aspect is the evidence part. It's not only about people coming from the UAP space. Is the normal guy that sees something and they saw a video or even want to describe. It's not just about image or video. Want to describe what they've seen, etc. This would be interesting, and as well for whistleblower, for people that really want to talk about this is something that we can help. So I think for us is really, we believe in that. It's groundbreaking, something that today is not existing. And we're really looking for as well before to collaborate with people really close to the UAP world, and to collaborate together, to bring also some people over there and help us during the project. We are already working to get some collaboration over there. Hopefully we're gonna get some news soon. So
That's
yeah,
exciting.
that's what I would like to share. Yeah.
Yeah, I can only
Yeah,
dream.
no,
I can only
that's-
dream of who it might be. So I just, it's.
No,
and
I
that's
mean,
the thing is, it keeps going. More credible people will be drawn to this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is something that I'd love to shoot. I almost want to just call into Coast to Coast AM
Dude,
and tell
I
them
know.
to check y'all out. Like, are you familiar with who George Knapp is and Coast to Coast AM and all that?
Of course.
Okay. Okay, cool. Because I live Coast to Coast AM is, I love them, and I listen to that radio station pretty much every single night. And I've just been, to me, it's a great community they have set up, and it's, the community there would support stuff like this. That'd be, something like that would be incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to just be callers and call up just to talk to him about this, honestly.
Yeah, no, why not?
Because,
Try and get on the horn with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, I'd had a question. I kind of forgot. I was listening to you, then I did have something I wanted to ask you, though.
I know you're talking about Bluebeam earlier.
Oh, so how would a person? So how exactly would it work if somebody if somebody takes a video or something, they can just go you share it on your website or your page or like send it to you, and from there is where the how would that work if somebody wanted to share something?
So as soon the pre-sale is ended, the platform will start the build phase, right? So there will be a platform where people can connect through wallet, and there they can basically share evidence
Gotcha.
in automated way. Okay, I can go in the technical specific or copyright, but we go there. People that will be there able to do let's say, in autonomous way.
Mm-hmm.
And there would be, of course, a review and all this kind of stuff. But everything would be kind of automatic.
Okay. I kind of get it now.
Okay, yeah. So it's kind of, I guess, within the next month or once the pre-sale's done, I guess that the whole system and infrastructure for how it would work for submitting information, and the website has all this stuff here, so it's cool. Definitely be sharing it. They got the white paper and just as far as the roadmap for how it's all going to lay out. So it'll be, yeah, no, it's exciting. So
yeah. Y'all have also, there's also been some activity I've seen over in the UK out. Like, has there been anything near you guys where you're at or no?
I think in the past there were pretty much in Belgium.
Belgium.
Okay.
There was very, very crazy event that also military tried to catch this kind of UAP or stuff with F-16 fighter jet.
Oh wow, when was this?
So was I think in the 90s, something like that.
Okay.
I don't want to say something that's correct,
Yeah.
but
Okay, yeah,
sometimes
roughly. It was
sounds roughly there.
Okay.
Yeah, where I am, no. One case that was, say, one of the old that is documented was in Italy in 1939, right?
Mm-hmm.
So before Roswell, the mother of the
right, yeah, the mother of it all for modern times.
For most of it, yeah.
There was this case that was actually close to where I was raised, and basically the fascist regime, there was Mussolini there at the time. They recovered this craft that we thought at the beginning that was a German craft or Nazi craft, but they called the Nazi and say, no, it's not our. So then they were thinking it's maybe a British one or whatever, right? And they just released, I think some years ago, this official document that talk about that. So very interesting. So this stuff happened. So they retrieved this stuff. The story says that after the war, the material was taken, I think, probably the US or other nation or put somewhere, safe. But this stuff happened. There's document about it.
Yeah, no, it's funny, and you say that because I know there's if you haven't seen, you probably have. It came out recently, The Investigating Alien, the George Knapp hosted. There's a miniseries on Netflix. Yeah, where they talk about some of the different events and just like a lot of stuff that happened in Brazil in the 70s or whenever it was. And I think they'll talk about the U.S. showing up and like they don't, whatever stuff was recovered, like some secret group from the U.S. seems to likely have been the people to get their hands on it and take it, Yeah,
we have a way of getting our sticky fingers in there when something happens.
Yeah, to where
we're like, I think we need this. Get out of the way. We know this happened in your country, but this is obviously Americans.
Yeah,
we need to have this. Yeah, that's a bit ridiculous.
But yeah, no,
I think it is because probably US is a lot, the West side, that there is a lot of information about what's happening over there. But I believe a lot of stuff, that happened probably in Russia and China. Thinking about the Russian territory, that it is the largest territory
right?
in the world.
Yeah.
It has to have. Yeah.
I have a
They keep it on lock too, so who knows what they actually have, right? That they've actually kept a lid on.
Yeah, they're not going to let you go snooping around there. No, and I was going to say is that I actually, in a book that I have that was written, golly, I don't know, it was like in the 60s or something, but this guy, he has this whole theory that somebody else is on the moon, that another race of human beings has inhabited the moon, and he shows in all these pictures why he says that, because he maps out these holes that we see as just like meaningless craters, and he points out that he believes that there's reason that they were almost like holes left from something mining the earth or mining the moon's surface or whatever. And what he was saying is that he theorized that he talked about how it's like, during the quote space race between the Russians and the US was not as much of a race as more of it was like a conjoined effort of being able to kind of figure out what the hell was actually going on, with this. That was his whole theory that he put forth, was that the Russians and the Americans were really just trying to, it looked like it was a race to get up there and just to who could do it first, but really they were, he was theorizing this kind of a conjoined effort of
just to see if anything's up there that we can actually witness in person.
Because it was all kinds of like speculative people who would, in his book, he would reference about like having, seen stuff or whatnot.
Yeah.
And so,
and they probably weren't considering as much the idea of shape shifting or the ability to camouflage or, go invisible or just, being interdimensional, just to literally be able to phase in and out of the spectrum of visibility that humans have,
Yeah.
Which I feel like, I feel like that's likely as far as whatever it is for it to be that nature, just to kind of be interdimensional, however you want to say it. People think it sounds crazy, but no, it's like it makes sense, the more you think about it, and it's just being any number of or all of these things, right?
Yeah, have you heard about any of the instances of like the rockets that have been shot up and I know there was at least one. I think there's video of it.
Are you talking about the Go Fast? Or?
Well, the rocket that was shot up and an orb kind of disabled it, went around it and disabled the. Oh, you saw that?
Yeah. I saw. I don't know. I think this is a fake video, but I think the event happened.
Okay, and the video was fake.
I don't remember what I was probably in the. I don't want to say something that is not correct, but there was in a book that I read. No, there was not imminent. It was another book, but this stuff happened, and the real material, so the video, was taken then from some people. But the person that then spoke about that was a person actually that was in this room watching this video now, because in the real time when they launched the missile, they just thought, okay, the launch just failed, right? But then when they've seen the footage, they realized that there was this thing going around and basically breaking up. Yeah,
that makes sense, because in the one video it was like it didn't match up, like the way it showed the clip of a guy talking. So that makes sense what you were saying, that almost the recreation of the account of his story. So yeah, no, absolutely. But I mean, that to me is fascinating. Just the fact that maybe we're testing stuff, then all of a sudden here comes this thing that starts to interact with it.
Yeah, like it made me just think of this video. I just wanted to pull up because I remember when it happened, but I looked at it again recently. This was that like 10, what the Chelyabinsk meteor from like 10 or 12 years ago, maybe. And this was in Russia, right? Did a UFO intercept the Chelyabinsk meteor in 2013? And it's actually pretty. It kind of makes you think of what we're just talking about in a way, because you see them like this is the real meteor that hits, and like it's something. And the thing is, that thing no one died from this event. Like it caused all this wreck, but the thing breaks up right before it hits. And they slow down this video, and you can kind of see there to where it looks like something intervened, right? Yeah. It's so I think it kind of it goes along with them if they disabled a missile or did something, but it's like it was protecting, like whatever it is, right?
I don't know. I mean,
who knows? It's just
who knows? But it's true that what happened a lot of nuclear facilities that are also not only deactivate but also activate nuclear silos. So I mean, just messing up. Whatever it is just messing up with our arsenal, let's say.
Yeah, whether it's just interference by the nature of what they are, or whether it's an intentional thing, I think it's is because it's man.
It could just be one of those things where it's almost like in the cases where they say that people that that have been, quote, come in contact with either like a ship or something, how they have radiation burns and stuff like that. It could just be one of those things where it's it's something that, it puts off a frequency and it does this thing or whatever and creates these, it's not meaning to do that, but we attribute it's what we attribute to it.
Yeah, like we generate heat, it might be generating some wave or frequency of, or combination of things that have interference with these certain waves or spectrums, right? But
it can be.
Yeah,
who
absolutely.
knows?
What's fascinating is just that I think that that all of this is it's kind of the more I think you can kind of get more understanding. The more further back you look, it kind of helps clear some stuff up in a way. I think
that it's not just been happening now, but to educate how long it's been going on and just the documentation of it, right?
Yeah, and that potentially we could maybe be at one of these points in time where it'd be fascinating. What if this just all stops in a week? and then they never address it or say anything, you know?
It could be because
You-
already happened in the past, right?
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
and I think most of today, most of the things are in the hands of the community that it has not been shared or they keep it somehow because of the stigma, etc. While in the past, if you think about the 40, 50, 60, 70, till the 90, before, you know, uh, cell phone and smartphone come to the picture,
Yeah, social media.
before was
Yeah.
exactly was mainly in the army and people that have special access, right?
Mhm.
But now I think people can look in the sky, and I don't know if you know about this. I guess the Galileo project.
Galileo.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's interesting. They are looking for with some special telescope and radar and whatever
Oh, like James
to
Webb telescope
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah
Yeah.
to take picture of the sky, right? So I think if this stuff keep going, and I don't have any doubts about that,
Mm-mm.
uh, then I think this stuff can really be come from the community. I think the
Yes.
community needs to push forward for this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think that's
absolutely
spot
agree.
on.
Yeah.
I think that's the position we're in as a society, to where this could happen every 100 years. This could happen every hundred. Like you're saying, it's 100 years ago. No one would be able to tell each other around the world unless they took a boat or
Yeah,
something,
and we
and
just
then
look at it as old stories at that point.
yeah. But this could, and of course we think it's just our perspective of our time alive. But yeah, it's now that we have a community. There's an ecosystem to where yeah, it's just educating at the end of the day. I feel like educating on just whatever information we have, and
Yeah,
yeah.
and so this all goes live the day before Christmas or
The pre-sale
the
will go
pre-sale?
live on the day before Christmas and will be 6 stages.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the first stage is 20% bonus on the token. So we hope to finish early, but that's
Yeah.
something that we're gonna see after Christmas. And what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna focus a lot on I'm a call, so to have in our Telegram chat more video call with the community. So in the next 2 weeks, we want to talk more publicly about this, answer question, etc. Build engagement, build a strong community. I think this is a foundation. This is
Yeah.
the most important thing to us. We want to have a strong community, support, and work towards certain goal. With a strong belief, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have
We start.
partners here. You've got some two partners
Thank
in
you, guys.
Yeah,
Texas here. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, we're a little ways away,
Appreciate
but
it.
we're going to do it. That doesn't matter.
No,
We'll
that's
still be
that's the
able to.
beauty of it.
Yeah,
Like we can help
absolutely.
represent in the states.
Yeah.
It would amazing, guys. Spread the voice then.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
absolutely, man.
you.
We got you see we'll
Yeah,
get
dude.
we'll get
We're gonna
stickers made
spread
up
it.
and all this shit and put them all over the city here. We do all kinds of goofy shit like that here. I wanted to let's see. So the pre-sale goes live on Christmas.
Or like
I
around it.
wanted to ask again. So obviously, I know we kind of touched a little bit on it, but I didn't know with all the stigma and everything that's been involved with all that. What how was it hard for you to kind of say you wanted to do this or to jump into it? Were you nervous at all? Like, what was the thing that you finally said, I want to do this? Like,
It's when you start to when you're younger, you have this passion. Then change of life. You start to do something different
You have kids
because
and
that's what it
family.
is, right? And all this thing, right? I think I have a certain point of my life that I'm clear about what I want to do, and I found people that they have the same goal and the same belief that it's not easy to find because of the
It's not.
stigma,
yeah,
to
No.
talk even about with somebody else, right?
Right.
And also there are people that have experience and on technical part and other things. So I think it's the correct moment that we said, okay, I think we should do it. So and then we come up with all the project and the design and all this kind of thing, right? So that's the reason mainly.
yeah. Well, I'm incredibly glad and grateful that you were that you found the right people, and that y'all were able to get together, and that you also had the the follow through to go as far as you've gone with this. And obviously, to me, it's like you've kind of started rolling this snowball up the hill, and this thing seems to have gotten pretty big. And I feel like you're just at the top, about to push it down. So, I think it's great what you're doing, and this is really something cool. And to my knowledge, is there anything like this going on? Like anybody else doing anything like this?
As far as I know, no. We did some research. There are some stuff that are mainly, I don't want to say meme coin, but not with this utility.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Right.
more like try to put some image and this stuff, but not to create a kind of platform and model.
Yeah.
Not with this kind of leverage.
No, yeah, it's like there's
Yeah,
just
no, I mean, I've in my time following crypto, with going back to 2016, 17, just kind of seeing the trends, in the home meme coin trend. It's and it's kind of the same thing with kind of what we're doing with ours. Is that seems like the market to kind of reach out to, because they'll be interested in anything, but it's like they see something and it's like, wait, it's not a meme coin. Actually, there's substantial value, and there's an ecosystem behind it that's real. It's not like, oh, we're just buying an animal, a weird thing, and we're riding a social media trend. It's like, this is interesting. It's as cheap as these things, but there's actually substance to it, and that's really the cool thing. And that's kind of what I see, where we kind of fell in at the same spot together, and that's how we stumbled across each other, in this ecosystem.
Yeah, and I mean, it's great. You get to see the face behind it all, and know that it's like you said, it's not, which is more reassuring, because then that, like you said, it's not one of these just
not an AI bot who's making a coin, or some
where
farm
you're gonna get,
where they're just spitting out 100 tokens a day on pump
and
fund,
you're gonna get a rug pulled out from under you or something like that. So I mean, it's incredibly refreshing, especially with what you're doing with it, and how you've kind of combined those two intersections, because they're both somewhat misunderstood by a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's why we're on a shared journey for spreading truth, and also just the value of cryptocurrency and use cases that are actually create value and community engagement in unique ways. But cool. I know you've definitely given us so much of your time. It's if there's anything else, I think we've covered the UAP movement pretty well, and we'll definitely be talking about it. And and if there's, like I said, if there's anything, I know you said, do you have a Telegram? We'll definitely get on that, and we'll try and be a part of as much of the community building with you on that. So expect to see us around in the digital realm with and
it would be great. That would be great to have you guys. And we're building also there. We're gonna expand also with community manager and other things. We're gonna put some games. We're gonna have AMA session over there. So things are coming.
Awesome.
Cool.
Obviously, being a startup, we need to go with our rhythm. We're not a big organization. So
neither are we.
So then, but things are coming, and very consistently. So it's exciting time.
I agree.
And I'm very happy that you have me today. And as I mentioned, there is face behind the project.
Yeah.
There are people.
Yes, we're humans. Yeah, we have humans with the mission.
No, it's beautiful. We very much look forward to staying tuned and watching your journey, and sharing every bit of it along the way, and helping you out as much as we can. And we'd love to have you back. Anytime we could go ahead and say that we'll shoot for 6 months from now to have you back, and then
at the latest.
But then
after
along
the
way,
goes live,
when I was going to say along the way, things that happen, whatever I'm sure there's going to be things that happen along the way that will probably be necessary to have you come back to join us, just to chat and give speculation, because we love to speculate here.
Yeah.
So we'd love to have you back to just speculate and shoot the shit with us, as we say here in Texas.
Yeah. And definitely talk. Randomly, we'll talk about movies and all sorts of things. I know you say you're from Italy. I'm really into a lot of Italian. I don't, shows and international cinema and interesting stuff like that. So I can go crazy. But
With pleasure, guys.
Awesome.
I'm sure we'll be a next time. So
Yeah.
thanks so
Absolutely.
much for having me. Really
Yeah, thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much.
Really.
Thank you again. We look forward to staying in touch and with this beginning of a relationship, is the way I see it. And
No,
yeah, feel
absolutely.
free to reach out. At any time if anything.
Thank
we
you,
can do.
Mario.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so
Mario.
much.
Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yep.
Oh, to you as well. And yeah, talk to you soon. Enjoy the Christmas rest,
Awesome.
guys.
All
And
right.
Thank you.
enjoy.
All right.
Have
All
a
right,
good one,
thank you.
brother. Be safe.
Cheers. You too. Bye.
Bye.
That was fucking cool, dude. That was fucking cool,
Dude.
dude. Oh, man.
Dude.
That was fucking, whew. That was neat. That was really neat. I gotta use the bathroom.
Dude. Yeah, we'll take a little break and then we'll come right back.
And we're back.
Yes.
We are back, and
Man, we're back.
That was I had to go outside. Get some fresh air. I was sweating a little bit with excitement.
Yeah.
I had
That was
excited
magical.
sweats. That was awesome. Mario is a
Mario
fantastic
Masperi
human being.
yes. Man,
And
cool, amazing
was-
human being right there.
yeah, no, that was amazing. And man, just we've talked about it a lot, but the timing of all this is incredible. Just because, I don't know, it's funny how it feels like when you're in the moment,
like
it feels like it's
synchronicity,
working
man.
out, like it's all meant to unfold a certain way. And with the whole topic, we've danced around for a long time now. In this year, we've had plenty of episodes where we've talked about the unexplained,
Yeah.
UFOs, paranormal, whatnot.
To the point that we
And-
manifested everything going on right now. Unintentionally.
No, but it's kind of really become something that we've ended up talking about more and more. What was once an exception is almost the rule now, where we're talking about UFOs and unexplained. So now I feel like we need to stop. We need to just
time.
a tiger can, or a zebra, whatever, you can't deny its stripes.
Yep.
And whether we like it or not, we've earned these tinfoil hats.
It's time.
So now we'll
true.
proudly wear these hats.
And the thing is, we wear invisible ones all the time.
Yes.
But now I think we can wear them proudly.
Yes.
We can turn off the cloaking technology that we
Now
stumbled
it's-
across that whatever the UAPs are
Yeah.
using. And yep.
We're in the open now. We're comfortable.
Yep.
You were among friends.
Yeah. This is a safe place to talk about these things.
Greetings.
Greetings, travelers.
Your peace.
Man.
But yeah.
So I know I'm beside myself right now.
Let me post game interview here.
1975 movies. What you got?
Post game
You didn't even
interview
look
to Matthew. So Matthew was the one that found our good friend here, Mario, and
I was fortunate to stumble across.
fortunate. And so take us through how it worked. You found him, and then
So I started, I saw an opportunity to get it in, literally mix my passion with crypto that's kind of had for a few years, and the intensity and interest is kind of, I've been a believer in it and been steadfast with certain coins and tokens that I follow and whatnot. But, obviously people see the market and all the fluctuation, and how you see people like, oh, it's garbage. Oh, it's actually has real value. And, at least observing, okay, I saw the value in actually utilizing the ecosystem to not just try and make money, but actually just have a unique engagement with the community by creating a token that people get like 1 million of them for, like, you could spend $1 on so much worse things. So like, hey, I can just actually kind of get involved with something and engage with it. And so in the process of kind of going on that journey, there's a bunch of different influencers and promotion type accounts and individuals that'll reach out to you on Twitter and whatnot, and Instagram, being like, oh, I see you're doing a project, and they offer to promote it for whatever, however much. And so it makes sense. It's like having a business and you want to market it. It's like that's kind of the ecosystem of all that. And in the process, one marketer influencer I saw had posted something. They had a pinned post for 24 hours, I think, and it said like UAP project, and I was like, UAP project, UAP, okay, that's right up our alley, And you see all these meme coins and garbage, so it's like, oh, here's just another funny animal or meme or something that's people are just gonna try and pump, and it's like not have any real substance or value. Well, I kind of saw them posted, then they had a website link. I checked out the website and everything. I'm like, okay, there's a legitimate mission and vision going on here. You know, they actually have a structure and a format that they're trying to utilize the ecosystem in a valuable way. You know, a use case that, you know, finally a real fascinating use case of blockchain and crypto. And I saw that they just had a couple thousand or so followers, and so I'm like, okay, it seems like they're kind of at a journey and similar that we are, just with kind of a different target, but legitimate community involvement, engagement. And so I just literally, liked their post, and I, posted that, this looks like an amazing project, and then, just shot him a DM, and yeah.
And then he accepted your DM.
Yeah, and I just said something about, would they be interested? We have a podcast, and just we'd love to talk to you because we're really fascinated in all things UAP and everything you're doing. And yeah, and so that just kind of led to me shooting them a DM, and they were very receptive. They were very friendly, and that was a week and a half or two ago, and maybe a week or so before all the UAP stuff started kicking off,
dude. Yeah,
and then it's almost like. Yeah, so that's
gave us a
the
lot
last
to
2
talk
weeks.
about.
Yeah,
it gave us a lot to talk about. It was
just the timing. You talk about synchronicity. It's just all these things happening in this short span, and that's kind of how I got there.
And I mean, I'm incredibly glad you decided to follow through with it and say, hey, man, you didn't think about it. You just said, hey, I'm gonna hit this guy up, and
it's like
and he accepted,
enough,
which is I'm super glad he did, because that's he's definitely on the forefront of something, because we're saying I haven't heard of anything like that. You like you said, you're in that realm a lot, and it was obviously something that stood out enough to you.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't really seen anyone try and do like a legitimate, established, podcast community around it. So I say that, the first one, maybe there was at some point, but I was still saying that, we're the first ones to approach it and really just try and engage with the crypto use case, community building with it. So, it's, I feel like I came across a kindred spirit in with the mission and journey. And so I think we're gonna try and get a good buddy on here now.
Yeah, I figured, I didn't know if you want to hop in for a bit while we wrap up and stuff,
Yeah, just tell him what just happened. Let's see.
Yeah, exactly. Inform our good friend and associate, Jeff.
Mr. Jeff.
Is he here?
Oh, no, I got to send the invite.
No, but yeah, I mean, that was definitely feel like he's going to... I just love the fact that our two interests have kind of come together.
It's all
my
so
interest
organic.
in UFOs and the unexplained like that, and which is also something you're incredibly interested in as well, because your love and passion for sci-fi movies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a natural thing that we're both.
It's an organic, natural
organic
growth and development and trajectory of what we're doing, and it's so we'll get Jeff on here and back. Dude, where were you? Mario was waiting, and
he's gonna be like, fuck you guys.
But yeah, so I mean, what post interview thoughts? I know you kind of said, but let's
post interview thoughts.
What, did you learn anything interesting?
Oh yeah, I mean, I learned just about. Honestly, I wasn't sure coming into it exactly how what made it more legitimate, but the more once he started talking, I understand. Oh, okay, I see why it made sense why other ones weren't legitimate, and what made.
Are you talking about cryptos?
Legitimate. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Cryptos. And also not just that, but it was
real
also
substance to this whole thing. It's like you got to now you kind of see it. Now you feel it.
Yeah. Well, and two, it's like also the way he was, how well thought out. He's pretty much covered all his bases in a sense of, again, I love like his mission statement about pretty much the truth. He just wants, let's figure the truth out, and he, accepts and understands that, hey, this might not be something that I know in my lifetime, You know, it may not be anything that I figure out, and but maybe in my kids or their kids' lifetime, it's figured out. But again, it's just like doing what he feels like is his part along the way to try and help bring transparency and light to the whole issue. And so yeah, my post interview thoughts are just that number one, however you want to look at it, incredibly fortuitous, coincidental that we found him, and that we're on this path we're on and talking about these things, and that we found, like you said, it's like a kindred spirit. And what I think what's neat is that and hopefully he feels is just as enthusiastic or happy about the interaction as we do, that we both connected with people on the other side of the world from us pretty much.
We've got a friend in Warsaw, who's from Italy, and who it was, we were engaging, that's a human relationship.
In that common thread that connected, that just kind of connected us, and
to seriously talk about these things in a serious manner, and the stigma is starting to go away, and
I love how you say that. Talk about these in a serious manner as we sit with our tinfoil hats.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. He's out driving around, man.
Jeff.
What's up, guys?
Driving Jeff. Wow, what an incredible interview we just had. We were excited for you to watch it and listen to it.
Yeah, man. We waited for you.
I just wanted to pop in and ask if it was everything you guys...
Oh, it was that and then more. It was that and then more.
Not even joking.
And then some. We're sending your custom foil hat to your house, by the way. It'll be there. It'll be there in a day or so. But... With all the activity going on, all the activity in New Jersey,
we'll be selling them too, just for one meme coin.
One meme coin, we'll be selling these hats.
So that's about half a penny.
Autographed. So yeah, what are you out and about doing? What are you up to today, traveler?
Taking the girls to a Christmas parade.
Oh, what a day!
Look
at that! Look at that, Dad.
So Santa's gonna be there, huh?
Santa will be there?
Santa will be there.
Awesome.
That's the word. They're going to have like a little train that goes around the little...
Oh, Lily wants to go.
Little Christmas treats and stuff like
Wonderful.
that. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, it looks like some amazing dad time there.
That's wonderful. What shirt you wearing there?
Yeah, some ex-lifetime too. Apothecary 24. Just
wow.
Where I work, fellas.
Where can somebody go get one of those Apothecary 24 shirts?
TASRX.net.
Wow,
no,
that's a beautiful shirt.
You got to come in the store.
Oh.
You got to come in the store.
Or go to MikeyandMe.com.
Because of what we do for a living, we don't ship.
How much for that shirt? Can we sell that shirt autographed, sweat in?
$13. Yep. This shirt? No.
Yeah,
the
we're
one
gonna sell that to a viewer.
Jeff's actual personal owned one.
Give it away.
No, we're not giving anything away.
No, actually, yeah.
All the proceeds.
An official Jeff.
I'm actually going to cut you guys off because I am parked at my destination.
All right, bud. Well, we love you. Thanks for hopping in.
We love you. Thank you for joining.
You guys do not know that feeling ever.
Goodbye, traveler.
All right, goodbye, traveler.
Good greetings. Good luck, traveler. Good luck, traveler.
Bye.
Oh, JC.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
He didn't do the sign. This is the sign.
Oh, nanu.
Nanu.
That was good. It was nice to have Jeff.
Jeff popped in. Jeff popped in. It's nice. Now he can't say we didn't involve him because he's always saying that. He's always saying things like that to me. We get in the Xbox party and he tries to make me feel bad. Yeah, I'm always being nice to Jeff. I never say mean things to him. I never ask him a question and then tell him to shut up after.
Once he sees his main coin account and wallet that I made for him and that he's got about $2 in there, he's going to be like, guys, I'm a part of it.
He's going to freak.
He's going to
see the vision.
This is worth it.
He's going to see the vision, and he's going to say, But no, I mean, to wrap up, I guess, the whole evening, the whole day is...
I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, for sure. And, not just that, but I'm excited. I'm excited to see, 2025 is going to be...
the year of the UAP and AI agents.
it's gonna be a fun year. We've got plenty of things to talk about.
Yeah, we'll have some more under the umbrella going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Who knows where the umbrella is gonna wind up next? Yeah, You don't know. You see a tall fellow there with a fun hat. It might,
Yes.
and who knows if he'll be wearing the tinfoil hat? You know, you never know. You never
Perhaps
know.
a bit of foil atop the umbrella.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
But, yeah, I'm just trying to think of. Yeah, I mean, we touched on a lot of the. If we weren't talking to him having this interview, we would have been talking about what's going on so it's just natural that the timing of the next episode that we're doing happens to tie directly into everything that's going on with these drones, which, me and Mike, we get that they call them that, but goodness gracious, these aren't freaking drones.
Yeah,
like they're it's the closest thing people could say, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess if you want to expand the definition of drone to encompass this, maybe, yeah. But I'm calling them UAP.
Yeah, and just to say real quick, to kind of preface for this whole topic is an ocean of, and it's overwhelming. So if you happen to be listening to this and you find yourself where you're just now, all of this is new to you, the UAP, UFO, yes, please seek shelter under the umbrella of, yeah, whatever. I'll teach you. You can be my Takwachi. This is like, you have to, it's an ocean, and the more you research one thing, you go down these little rabbit holes, and you kind of can get bewildered, and it's just like, okay, whatever.
The river has tributaries,
and then one thing pops up, and you're like, yep, that sounds good. It probably is that or something. And one of the rabbit holes you may end up going down, or a conclusion you'll eventually will come to with researching UFOs, is that the government has this technology, that the government has known about these things. The government has been reverse engineering it. We kind of have proof of that in a sense with the Bob Lazar documentary, that when he was at S4, he was tasked with trying to figure out what made this ball that he was, the sphere or whatever, tick, what made it levitate, or, what propulsion system it used. That was his job. So it's like, it's confirmed that the military or the government something has had this technology. We've been exposed to it. So this is saying all this to address the fact of the whole Project Bluebeam. While all of the ingredients are there for our government to conduct something like Project Bluebeam, which, for those of you who may not know what Project Bluebeam is, it's the theory that the government is more or less behind a lot of this, and that the government will pretty much, coordinate and carry out a planned fake alien invasion or something like that. Use that to almost control the populace or whatever, to bring about a one world government and all those things. While all of that may exist and it's a possibility, it comes from, and it's based off the theory again, that the government has found this technology or has come in contact with it, and they've tried to figure it out, and they're using it. So that would imply too that it came from somewhere.
Yeah.
We discovered it, or it came from somewhere.
Yeah.
So
we can
something
all
else.
loosely accept that. Yeah, the government knows about stuff.
Yeah.
And they've been hiding it.
And they have technology they have things that probably look like a toaster that can fly through the sky. And if we saw it, it'd be like, wow, we have that. But this type of technology was either discovered from somewhere, some past, whether it was, ancient, and it was in Egypt and stuff like that, something somewhere, wherever it came from. The way I see it is that is a possibility. Yes, they probably have a lot of this stuff, but also too, it came from somewhere. So there's another player in my mind. There's some other factor that is it's not all just the government, and it's not all just, because that's the other thing. There's a lot of, it's happening in China, it's happening in the UK.
Yeah.
They're not all the same phenomena, and it's not, again, the orbs of light, the things that are shifting and moving in shape. It's like, it's very surreal.
Yeah. And I personally, the government's documented in other ways, of course, trying to create a narrative for to tell society, to tell the citizens of the nation. And so it's like, yeah, they'll employ those tactics, and that's documented in realms outside of, UAP considerations. So yeah, of course, it would make sense if they were trying to use things at some point in that way. It doesn't mean, at the same time, they could be trying to do that we're talking about something, technology or material or whatever, that it could easily get out of their control. Like, it's like it could be the case to where, yeah, they were gonna try and do a narrative or they weren't going to yet, and maybe something got out and it's expanded and replicated and taken on a life of its own that they can't control. Now that's almost like maybe they know enough to be confident that it isn't harmful, but they're not going to sit, at this point. We'll just see if they start to disclose more, this Immaculate Constellation, all this footage. So they have and the great thing about the UAP is, movement is Disclosure Project is hopefully over time, it becomes to where if stuff gets leaked or there's footage, that they have a place where it can be submitted to safely, and they can even be incentivized through the token to do it. And then it'd just be like, everyone can go be like, okay, well, they've got everything. Now they can't hide stuff now. The power's in the people's hands.
Well, yeah, and just to kind of just to touch on that, like I think another factor of what's important with what he's doing, or what's kind of so groundbreaking and almost like an unrealized necessity, is what he's doing. Because what he's doing is super necessary, but it's something it's like, yeah, why didn't I think of that? Why hasn't that been done before? And because it's like the reason it's
with the technology and ecosystem.
And the reason what he's doing is super important is because, like it's like with this, another element to the whole UFO thing is that, like with the government and stuff, the government can't just come out and tell us that aliens exist, or that these phenomena exist,
just
or
like
that this technology or this technology exists. The reason they can't, I'll give you a very simple example that everybody has lived, that everybody that is listening to this lived through. COVID. They came out and said COVID was happening, and everybody went and bought up all the toilet paper. We had no fucking toilet paper because people thought they were going to shit their pants. One person went out and bought it, and everybody started buying up toilet paper. Another reason, after COVID, or it was during or something, or there was a hurricane that hit around Houston, and everybody started speculating or put out on the internet that, there might be a gas shortage. That we could, because a lot of the gas comes from Houston, so they drive it, in these trucks from Houston to Dallas. So a lot of people started freaking out. What'd they do? They went to the gas station, started filling up gas cans, started filling up all their gas shit. And so what happened is that we created a gas shortage because people fucking panicked, and they bought up all the gas, and then they were like, "Oh my God, they're right. It did create a shortage." No, it didn't. The gas trucks come on.
Prophecy.
They come like on Mondays or fucking Wednesdays. They come like once a week.
Yeah.
And we hit them the day after they came, and so of course we created a shortage.
Yeah.
We used double to triple the amount. People were buying and filling up fucking gas tanks.
Yeah.
So all that to say that's the reason that they can't come out and just say what's going on.
Because they see what happens.
And that is why what he's doing is so important, is because when you create something like this, like he said, with the transparency of it all, it's like almost getting it to where, again, like you were saying, how I've made the comparison to boiling a frog.
Yep.
When you put a frog in hot water, if you try and boil a frog and you throw him in hot water, he jumps out. But if you put him in cold water and slowly increase the heat, he'll stay in there and just cook.
Yeah.
And so it's like, if you just go out and straight up tell the people this is going on, they're going to freak out and panic.
Yep.
But with stuff like this,
a mob rushing out of a store and trampling over each other versus, we're just kind of slowly seeing it's time to go. Okay.
And two, it's like with something like this, being able to create and give people that transparency to really actually understand what's going on and know that, like, okay, potentially this is something that has been happening, or we've been, quote, we're no more, no less in danger than we were 100 years ago.
Exactly.
But people won't know that. If they're just going to hear, aliens, or fuck, and freak out, and it's like, guys, it's the same shit it was 80 years ago. We're in the same level of threat as we were then.
Yep.
But now you have the knowledge that this exists.
Yep.
And so all that to say, that's why something like this, I think, is what's so incredible about something like this, is because it kind of really helps, like you said, really does do a lot to douse that fire of the stigma with it.
Yeah.
Not that the congressional hearings should have done a lot of it. That really should have done a lot.
And that was like a huge, big step, I think, towards it. And then the second one recently, and then I do just hope that the Immaculate Constellation, a lot of that footage and documentation slowly gets, trickled out in a responsible way, or gets leaked in a responsible way. Like you say, I don't, at this point with all the UAP drone stuff, they could probably just release most of it or all of it, and it would just be like, okay, this is like stuff we've already been seeing that people are recording on their phones, except, here's people's like, oh, how come no one's got a camera that can capture whatever? I can do this. Well, they talk about the nature of this stuff actually being able to like detect when it's being sensed, if you think about just reactions in nature for the actual species and animals we have, the way they have defense mechanisms and stuff, it's like, well, if this is something beyond us, and considering that it doesn't have to be like intelligent in the way that we are and have abstract thinking, it could just be a creature that reacts to its environment, or who knows, right?
Well, and two, the way that even in, just to kind of double down on what you said about it, consensing these things, like in that Investigate Alien with George Knapp on Netflix.
Oh, dude mentioned George Knapp early on too. I don't know if you heard him say that. Yeah.
Well, and the thing that's like interesting is that in that one case where they were talking about the cow mutilation, is the guy was saying how he put a gun on it. He was like, I was going to shoot it. And he said that, like, as he was raising his gun, he was saying, like, I went from, like, here to here, and as soon as I, like, looked down the scope to get it in my sights, he said it was gone.
Yeah.
So it's like you said, it's like, can almost sense that, like, the same way a deer, it's like, if you make a noise.
They say this stuff's sophisticated. They say, like, our drones have been trying to track stuff, and that it becomes, like, impossible to trace. You see videos the way that they can just disappear to where it's like, they can cloak or something.
And two,
who knows?
I saw it with my own eyes. Like 10 years ago, whenever I saw that thing in the sky, that again, a shooting star that just stopped and paused for about 3 to 5 seconds and then just gone.
Yeah.
And so it's like, the very fact that something was even moving that fast to begin with and then could either stop or change course and come toward me and dip off again, that's not, and again, that was 10 years ago before really, I mean, there was, of course, UFO talk and stuff like that, but it was, it was far before any of this shit was going on.
Oh, yeah.
And I had never talked to anybody who had seen something like that or experienced. And for the longest fucking time, anybody I would tell would just kind of be like, oh, that's crazy. Yeah. And it's like, it's just
like
weird
my dad,
being like,
whenever he was in high school, he talks about seeing something that he can't explain. And, it's just something he's kind of lived with. Yeah. And if it comes up conversations, he might bring it up. But, it's not something you go and is shared to everyone in his life because, okay, yeah.
Well, it's because, again, not only, it's not that response, like, it's not that I'm afraid of being like, oh, you're just going to think I'm crazy. It just sucks that dismissed. It's like, it's like it's one of those things where it's like they just have to experience it. You can't, somebody just has to see it to then be like, oh my, I don't know what the fuck that was. I can't just, because so many people rationalize
I think
things.
Is at least getting people who haven't seen stuff to at least be like, okay, I don't know what's going on. What the heck is that?
Yeah.
And just that question. And it's simple. And being comfortable with the question. Being comfortable with not knowing.
Yeah.
It's, of course, it's the unknown is scary, right? Yeah. Understandably. But like you said, it's, and who knows if there might be some negative effect or whatever it has on our biological makeup or whatever. But like I said, the government's had stuff for a while, and I think if there was, we'll see. We'll just see how it all plays out.
Yeah, and I think too, again, just with that being in mind, and like you said, the government having things. Yes, they have this technology, and also, yes, they're gonna fucking lie to us. Yeah. So understand that whenever,
as they should,
whenever it comes out, whatever their statement is, when they officially come out and say something, there's going to be a lot of people that are like, oh, this is total bullshit and it's all a lie and this and that, and they're full of shit. And it's like, yeah, they are full of shit to an extent, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it's like some of that is necessary, but also too, this is kind of where you have to, like, with whatever they say, do the best you can to read between the lines in a sense, or, kind of, sometimes they say the quiet part out loud. In some cases, and also too by what isn't said, kind of can indicate things to you with what somebody doesn't say or does say. It can kind of it can be very telling. So
it's like the Pentagon statement. I don't know if you'd like seen the stuff with the older white guy who's kind of answering fielding questions. I think within the last 24 hours.
Not in the last 24.
It was fine because like he did a great job just because he's basically had a script where he knew what he could say, and so he would keep repeating the same points, understandably, just knowing. But he was so calm and casual about it, but to where it's like, and I get the position that they're in.
Yeah.
To where I'm not saying it's good to lie to people, or whatever, but okay, you have to be responsible. Like because I asked him just about information being just disclosed, the repercussions that can have if a culture, society, and economy is not ready to handle it. To where, well, crap, we're gonna have to kind of just play dumb, and then just hopefully they're at a point where society can start to handle some of it.
Yeah.
And not just think it's the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess at the end of this all stuff, if they're assuming it a month from now, it's like, oh, that was a crazy time in 2024 whenever all that stuff happened, and maybe 100 years go by and nothing happens again and again,
because like something just in the history books, and maybe you discover that, like you said, in another 100 years from now, this same thing occurs again, and it's like a cycle of something what we don't know, maybe.
Like because, it could be a migration pattern of these things. Who knows?
What it makes me think about is that, like in that book I was reading the other week about the cowboys and the UFOs in the Old West, one of the things in there was the mystery lights of Marfa. Okay. And that's been going on for a long time. The mystery lights of Marfa have been these orbs of light that for years have been seen and spotted floating over these mountaintops.
And this is before drones, so they wouldn't say cowboys, drones. They wouldn't say helicopters. What else would they say? They just caught lights.
Well, they were, what's it called? It was back in the time, it was cowboys and ranchers that first discovered these things. And so they said, well, shit, saddle up, boys. Let's go figure out what the fuck that is. Because they thought it was like, at first they thought it was like a raiding, like Indians that were about to come raid them or something. So they ride up thinking, well, shit, we need to scare these guys off and show them, hey, we're on to you. But then the closer they get, the lights kind of get further, and they realize, well, what the fuck is this? Like, it's not a fire. It's further than I thought. Yeah. And then they see that, it's this weird, there are these weird orbs of light. And the same things have been said to have happened at, like, Skinwalker Ranch, the same phenomena.
Yeah.
And it's like, now
it's
these
all
things.
kind of making sense.
Yes. It makes sense in a way of how, this is, when it also changes in a way of, I think, the concept of, again, we all call something like the best we can compare it to, or from where we are, like
in time, like what do we have that I can liken this to?
Yeah,
to describe it.
And back in those times, they had said on that, like in one of those stories, his story got discounted because like some rancher or cowboy found this like thing that crashed and fell from the sky. And this was pre-flight. Like this was pre-Wright brothers. We didn't have airplanes. In air balloons and blimps weren't even invented at this time.
And even flying saucer, because the saucer was the closest thing they could liken it to.
Well, this guy said that on this thing that crashed, he said that he found like, he said that scattered on the ground were like cog-shaped like cog things. And everybody discounted the story because they said, he said that there was cogs on the ground,
so and that's man-made.
And that's man-made because we make cogs. And so he was doing the best he could to describe it from where he was. Yeah. And so even our whole like understanding or idea of what aliens are, we picture these beings, right? These little green men or these gray men but it's like technically this alien thing could almost be the same way, like, some type of, like he said, like an energy, some type of it's not even a physical
entity that exists in spectrums and realms that we don't even perceive with our senses, or can phase in and out. And there's just the spectrum of visible light or something, or it can maybe be a material that can go in and out of, different spectrums.
When it could, and to me, it could just, with the theory like that, or with this, in the reason that, again, this theory even exists, or what I'm saying is I'm even talking about what I'm saying is because the evidence we've seen of some of these things that have been recorded with them morphing.
Yeah.
They've actually recorded these things that are morphing, and their shapes aren't
Yeah,
you know,
it's not a
it's not just that
static shape; they're dynamic.
Yeah, and it's not just that. Oh, you saw that's two different UFOs. This is a Tic Tac. This one's the cigar shaped one. It's like no, this is one that went from a ball to kind of being elongated to then being a rectangle to then going to a ball again. It's like,
and it's like it looks like it could be just looking at it, like they're mimicking things that they're seeing, like, and
exactly.
even dude in that one that kind of expands, there's like the couple that, like, the one that has all the spin lights, but then there's one that just like puffs up. It made me think of a pufferfish.
Should we show a couple of these? Because I think I sent
of a pufferfish, if you know what I'm talking
about. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I'm looking at more of these things, and the way they're kind of moving and lolling about makes me think of any number of crazy creatures or deep sea, fish or what have you, that have crazy, like if you look at the bottom of the ocean, or different ones that some of the deepest, points we've got where we've seen things with these crazy lights, these crazy things they do down there, to where just imagine, that's something in our world to where, yeah.
So go to that most recent video I sent you on our podcast page right there, the first one, Joe Random, or whatever. Click on that.
So this one here?
That one. This is one that was at 30,000 feet. This is what I mean about what I'm saying about shape shifting. Some passenger on a plane filmed this at 30,000 feet in the air. And you just saw it go from like a plane shape thing to now it's like going to more vertical. It went from like a horizontal shape to now it's like a tall cylindrical vertical shape.
It's dynamic.
And now it's going into like almost just like an obelisk to like a slingshot.
Yeah.
It's like an obelisk at the bottom and a slingshot at the top. And that's like a solid, bright object, right? So see right there, it goes from like flat. And that's not, you're not
it's just... like, imagine like a gassy ooze type substance that who knows what the material's like, but obviously
and to right there, it looks like that jellyfish thing they're describing.
Yeah.
That like...
Yes.
And again, that was...
and again, in all of that, it's kind of like... looks like a cloud. Like behind it all, it's like mimic the structure of a cloud, but now it's just kind of free-flowing through the air. To where if that were in clouds, and you've seen stuff in clouds, to where it's like, oh snap.
Yeah, let me see. There's another one.
It's like here's this one that we're looking at here. The freaking looks like a weird blimp. Like
yes, yeah. It's like, so it almost looks like a freaking Amazon Alexa or something.
Yeah, and like this just. And just the light and just the movement and just the way they kind of glide and float.
Here's another one that I just sent you. This was in New Jersey.
Oh, and here's the Antarctic thing I was talking about.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So let's see.
Hang on. There's that. So I'm sending you a couple of the weird. So that, the one above it, that's New Jersey.
Yes, this one,
there's like no sound.
Nope, this one is
not,
so cool.
Like you can turn the sound up, and the guy's even like.
Yeah. Dude, it almost looks like a dude sitting cross-legged, kind of meditating through the air, with like in a ball. Dude, it makes me think of the fountain. The fountain when he's in that weird orb,
But look at that, like, and
yeah,
you can let it replay or whatever.
Yep. No, yeah, I've watched this one quite a few times. And that's the frequency in this, and we're just gonna keep seeing more and more of this stuff. In people.
Yeah, and look at it again. So people that want to try and say the way that's moving is just like it's just
gliding,
graceful.
Floating.
It's graceful.
Yes. It's
whenever
like
you watch, I feel like when you're watching drones. So whether this is if people want to say this is a drone, this is a highly advanced fucking drone because it's not.
Yeah.
How is
when
that
you're buying
even
anywhere?
Yeah, and the way it's like you can just tell the way that's moving. To me, it's very graceful. It's almost like using
it's
what
like
it's doing is it's
swimming
using
in a way through the
I was
air.
gonna say it's using the wind or the air to just do its work for it. It's not. It's like it's not being.
It's
the same. It's like a kite. It's like the same way a kite uses. You can mute it if you want. The same way like a kite uses. Its own structure combined with the nature of the air to be able to.
Yeah.
This is another thing.
Yeah, this is the really crazy one.
Again, where it's like, how can you just say that's just like a fucking drone?
Right? Like,
how
seriously.
is that just like, oh, because then other people are like, oh, sweet video of a defocused star.
Because
that's not a fucking star.
and then you talk about like the nature of these things showing that they have their ability to they react to being like observed or in certain ways to where you can't get good footage because like they disappear out of focus or out of like clear footage. It's
so hold on. There's also, let me see.
Yeah, and I'm
there
just
was
gonna kind of scan through a bunch of ones I've been sending to myself. And of course, naturally, you will be getting ones that are fake. You'll get ones with the opportunity, especially people with AI and how easy it is to do stuff. Yeah, of course, like anything, there's gonna be truth, and then there's gonna be lies and whatever mixed in. But that doesn't mean that some or a bunch of these aren't legitimate and authentic. Because I'm not saying I'm mastery, but I've been messing around with AI and video technology. It is much like it quite in depth. Just even trying to create something like this on my own, and it's of course it's possible, but it's not just, everyone's not just casually doing this easily. They're not just hopping in there and be like, "Oh, make a UAP video that's realistic."
Yeah, and here's the one that came out of China. This is almost one, and this one, like, I don't know,
mimicking a plane because it looks like a plane, but it doesn't look like a plane.
Yeah, the planes don't have four lights on the bottom like that.
Yeah, it's like it knows it's trying to look like something it's seen.
So go check that. There's this one I just sent you from on that page again. I'm trying to find this one that was like them zoomed in on this.
Oh yeah, this one's really wild.
Yeah, this was seen in China. Just floating in the sky.
The global nature. And I've seen, like, there's ones in Iran. There's ones that...
It's just something floating. Like, it just looks like, to best describe it, it's like if somebody just stacked river rocks.
Yeah. You're not going to tell me that's a bunch of weird balloons perfectly organized in that structure.
You can try and make the argument that, okay, well, it's a doctored video or it's a fake video. But, okay, it may be... This was in the UK.
Yep.
That was filmed in the UK. I'm not exactly sure how long ago this video was made. It looks like it says December 3rd was like when it was put up, maybe.
And again, like it's like again, just can't stop thinking of liking in it to just like different animals that some are moving in a migrant like together in groups, and there might be some by themselves, but it just seems like a whole, group or just type of species or just a type of entity, something that it doesn't, at least at this point, seem like it has any ill or intention that's clearly visible.
Check that one out I sent you that was from Vietnam. Like it happened in Vietnam, or it's where it was.
Oh yes, cited. Yeah, yep.
You seen that?
Yep.
And then where's?
No, yeah, we've probably seen all the same stuff because we've both been going down the same rabbit hole.
No, more than likely. But I'm trying to find, like I said, it was this one. It's again just to kind of show what I meant about the whole shape shifting thing or whatever.
Like this one, it's like it's not lit up, but look at that one.
Oh yeah,
it's just like sitting there floating, almost like some weird octopus type creature. And this one, dude, this is one that makes me laugh.
Yeah,
because I think it's real, but it's just like. These things almost look silly.
Yeah.
And it's not their fault, but it's just like the random variety of this. And like and I'm looking at the red and green. It's so friendly and colorful. It's just so interesting, man.
Yeah.
I think this is one that might have I don't know if this is one of them that crashed supposedly.
Yes, I'm having trouble finding that one, but oh well.
If I feel like at least a consistent for me takeaway is at least most of these seemed to be kind of close to ocean bodies, to where it leads me to think that that they are likely coming from these things have been in the ocean to an extent, or maybe it's a safe environment where they spend most of their time. Maybe it's cyclical that they come in and out, and then they'll go away, and then maybe they've literally lived here the entire time we have, and they just come and go like in some pattern every 100 to however often. And who knows? And it could be all the above. Could be we have certain technology, nuclear things that are drawing them out. It's any of these things. But
no matter what it is, it's obviously something it's occurring.
Yep.
And there's new stuff I think happened today. I think it was either today or yesterday. They they scrambled some jets in like California for some unknown flying object floating around in California.
And Twitter is a great place. There are some funny ones though. This one with Joe Biden walking up the stairs, and then there's the drone.
Yeah.
The sound effects they added. I'm sorry. It was good to be laughing. So like this. Oh, Joe walking up the. They just got some like drone superimposed flying in all these times with Joe Biden's phone.
Not even 4 hours ago. That was a quick trip, but as you said,
he falls again, right?
Yeah.
And this one's great. How Tokyo Police Department catches drones. They got clearly a man-made drone that has some net flying around.
Yeah, I need to bust that out.
Yeah, man, it's just it's exciting time because at this point I don't personally have like fear. There's I mean, but with fear it's not gonna do anything. It's not compensating anything.
No.
It is, you know, you do want to be informed. If there was an actual danger. And again, of course, the government would be in a position to where how would they tell us?
Okay,
but to where it's
what
like,
the fuck are we really gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are we gonna do?
We could go like lock ourselves, you know. And again, it's this one's
because
so
I
crazy.
think that was it. I think I saw a video of one getting shot at.
Yeah, no,
and
I've seen one getting shot
and
at.
it just sitting there. Like I think it was. Hang on, I'm almost positive I sent this one to our account, where it was like in some other country and they were shooting at it and it was just chilling. It was like unaffected. Didn't.
Yeah, I think that's the one in Iran. I think in Iran they're shooting.
Yes, I think it was.
Yeah, and it just didn't phase it.
No. Where is it?
And the funny thing is, like, these politicians, like, shoot them out of the air. It's like, okay, I get that as an initial reaction, but then at some point you have to think, okay,
here's...
we don't know enough, and the thing is...
I found the video of that one that...
You have to consider shooting it. You don't know what trying to destroy it might do. It might cause some It might cause some negative consequence that's not worth taking that risk at this point.
So I just sent you 2 videos. Go check them out. That's the last 2 that I have to show. So the second, this is the one I meant about like. So somebody was like, "Oh, sweet."
Think of a pufferfish.
Yeah, and somebody was like, "Sweet, a defocused star," and it's like, what? That's not a fucking star. Look how big it is. He even zooms out. And
Look, it's not shifting. Zoom in at any light, and you'll see roughly the same thing happen. No, that thing's puffing up.
Well, not only that,
and
but
look
it's like
look at the texture on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and how it's not the moon. Look how bright that shit is. And see it blinking?
It's blinking.
Now look.
Then it expands. Yeah. It clearly expands.
Mm-hmm.
He's not zooming in. If he zoomed in on it, it would get even brighter and less decipherable.
Well, just notice how it's blinking now.
Yeah,
it wasn't doing where
blinking.
did that? And it's the blinking's coming from off to the side like it has wings. Yeah. When just a second ago it was just a sphere.
Up. And so yeah, if that thing was steady light and you zoomed in, it would just be a sea of white.
There you go. You see it moving. It's obviously like it's expanding now. Look at it.
Yep.
Look how much
changing
it's expanding.
Shapes. Look, it's literally changing shapes.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's changing shapes.
Now it's like a stingray.
It's like it's got
almost.
tentacles with those lights that extend.
Yeah.
Yeah. And see that almost really invisible translucent part?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, I don't,
And
then this one's the one in Iran.
Yep.
And this thing is just like, they're obviously shooting it. People don't want to be like, oh, that's not, they're fucking shooting at something. Yeah. And look at all this, the ordnance.
It's like people will tell you, hey, shoot at them. Hey, we got other countries showing you what happens. So we don't
look
need
at
to
look
do
at
that.
the ordnance like blowing up around it. Like
yeah,
it's not even
like it's either disarming or causing it to avoid and deflecting it. They're launching shit at it. And, and it's kind of
like cool.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's like it has some force field that it's like, or it's going through it. Like it's obviously not. It's
unaffected.
Kind of like chilling.
It's not moving.
Nope. So it's like, okay, yeah, shoot at them. Obviously, we got other countries showing you what happens, and nothing.
Wait, hang on. That light. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. Just sometimes it's interesting looking at how people rationalize some of this stuff. And I know that, again, I think that it's just because there's been so much fake. And I think that's a part of the whole deal. If you want to talk about government's involvement, is that, the government, all this shit could be happening, but everybody just thinks it's all fucking fake because the government's faked some stuff.
Yep.
So they think it's all fake. And, people think, it's just this and that. And it's like, man, I don't, that's
just because they have lied and faked and because they would do this sort of thing doesn't mean that they're doing all this stuff.
No.
And that's the scale of it happening, the number of occurrences, the global nature. It just, I can't.
When it puts it beyond a mass hysteria thing, it puts it into the realm of like, oh, this isn't just an isolated event.
Nope.
It's happened. Not only is it while it's been happening in Jersey, it's also happened it's happened in.
I mean,
like China, Australia,
Iran,
the UK,
Russia, all over.
Yeah, Iran. That again, there's that. That's the orb. Like, and this is the one where people were like trying to say again, like, oh, it's a defocused star, and it's like,
dude,
that is not a star, dude. No, why would you be zooming in on it?
Look at the lighting. Like, it's clearly not a star.
No,
but it's again, just shows the nature of people. Not being able to process or accept something.
One, two,
that they
I feel
can't
like
understand.
people want to just, and they want to just, that was an interesting one. Go up, somebody record it down, right there. Somebody was recording showing like, yes, technically these are the like drones that are trying to be marketed to military or whatever. Like, so technically these are, but this is like, that's not what the fuck you're seeing.
No,
like, these
not
aren't,
at all.
These shapes, it's like if people were zooming in on that shit, and not only that, but I'm pretty sure these things aren't meant to really be fucking seen. I think they're meant to be felt and not really seen.
Yeah.
I think the government is buying shit that you can't see, but you can feel.
Yeah.
They can reach out and touch you, but you don't know it's there.
Yeah. No, I definitely get on board with that.
So, yeah. But either
man.
way.
It's cool stuff. Well, it's a fun journey, and we're happy to have everyone
recommendations of the week. I'll start first. Set up a crypto wallet and go get yourself some UAP coin.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's
pre-sale,
a double down.
It sounds like so. It's gonna be between now and Christmas at some point. We'll definitely be promoting and sharing stuff because we're in the same path with these people. We have partners. We have partners that are trying to do good work with this world and technology that we live in, and actually create something of value in a community. And UAP token, that's right there.
Go pick some up.
My but get yourself a little bit of MAME while you're at it.
There
50 cents a quarter.
50 cents a quarter.
MAME is on the Solana blockchain. I know the UAPs could be on Ethereum, and so they're both the two, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. They're arguably the top three ecosystems, I would say, easily. And it's so now's the time to at least get interested in crypto. If not, if literally just for the engagement thing, it's like, people spend a few bucks on subscriptions. They do things. There's a way to actually kind of get involved in something and show just unique vested interest in it. And again, that's the beauty of what we're both trying to do with actually embracing crypto and the community building aspect. But
absolutely. Well,
brother,
with that being said, there's nothing left to do but to be seeing you.